100% get your give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear in the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su?
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su?
Hawk 2.
A pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome to Over to You, a program by the people for the people. How y'all doing out there, man? How are you doing? Welcome to all those who are in Europe, North America, the Caribbean, the wider Caribbean. Welcome to the program, the continent of the continent of Africa. Welcome all around the world. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. I hope everyone is doing well. Can you guys feel free to go ahead and do your little administrative thing and like and share the program. And we're going to get moving along. I do have some pertinent information that I do want to share this evening. So also, I expect you guys to participate in the comments big time because I need an update on the water and GPL. So GWI, GPL, okay? Preliminary updates that I would have gotten from in Guyana. Flickering lights right through October into what are we? The second day of November. The lights continue to flicker. I guess our power boat would have sailed away. It might be some way in North America getting repairs. I don't know. You know, we may have to send out a memo there to the first vice president, Barrett Jagdeo. Maybe he can give us an answer on that. And the people are still complaining for sugar water coming through the pipes there, sugar water, coffee, anything brown, you know, coming through the pipes there from GWI. So lots of work to be done, huh? And you have a lopsided budget favoring infrastructure, but look what we have coming through the pipes. All right. Okay. Let's see who's here, Miss Lachman Aziz. I've already seen you. A pleasant good evening to you and your husband, Mr. Jamal Aziz. Miss Desiree Simons, good evening. Welcome to the program. Aja Beresford, Rastaman, Stacy Anstall, Yvette Andrade, Miss Cheryl Pancham, welcome to the program. Miss Desiree Smart Felix, New Amsterdam in the house. Welcome, Miss Fidel Albert. Michaela Andrews Coates, welcome. Lorraine Beat, welcome. Angola Moses, welcome. Audrey Brown. Beverly Ann Romaine, my friend, welcome to the program. Pam Halls, Trey J, Colleen Sarah Andrews, Keith Beresford, the Honorable Mr. Keith Beresford, welcome to the program. The Honorable Mr. Victor Ben, my friend, welcome to the program. Linda Dainty, Malcolm Robinson, Annette Cummins, Ewart Eastman, Audrey Brown, welcome, welcome. Golly God, of course. That's my guy right there. Share the program, like the link. He's going to take care of all of that. Golly God, welcome. Thank you for all that you do. Heather Malane, welcome. Welcome to the program. Rajendra D. Knott, welcome. Vashti Megnott, I haven't seen your name, but I know that you're always here. Welcome to the program. Sandra Hanover, if I didn't call your name, welcome. Philipina Johnson, welcome everyone. Shondell Griffith, welcome. Robin Morgan, welcome, welcome, welcome. Imelda Williams, I had to call you. You're the first person to lay down a comment this evening. Welcome to the program. Rajin Bim, welcome also to the program. All right, guys. So here we are, right? We're talking, what we're going to start off with. Let's talk a little bit about the cash grants. Let's talk a little bit about that. And the fact that, you know, if a government want to give out a cash grant to the people of Guyana, what's a favorite holiday? I'm going to let you guys use the comments here. What's a favorite holiday in Guyana that people really like to spend money? Please, guys, help me out quickly. What's a favorite holiday for the people in Guyana where they like to spend money, have a grand time? You know? Annette Cummins, yes, on point. Shoy Gibson, good evening. Xmas, everybody. Nothing else. Not another holiday I haven't seen. Look at it. Look at it. Now, to Barrett Jagdeo on the PPP goons. You guys are going to come out at Parliament and make an announcement. All right? For $500, 500 US, which equates to approximately 100,000 Guyana dollars for every Guyanese. Well, first you came out with the $200,000 for every household. Right? Mr. Jordan challenged that. I think we also challenged it on this program here the same weekend when he came out. We asked, I spoke about what's the incentive for young working people in the household if they don't get anything. It's just the head of household. And I did recommend anywhere between $75,000 and $100,000. Mr. Jordan came with $100,000. He's the expert. So, yes. And guys, tonight I did my own calculations. And you could see how impressive the work, the study by Dr. Clive Thomas, and also the proposal made by the Honorable former Minister of Finance, Mr. Winston Jordan, totally aligns with my calculations. And, you know, when I give you these numbers, you're going to see how important it is for us to get into the, that 2024 budget that would have come out. Because I think that budget is a very, very corrupt budget, and we need to address it, because that's where the PPP is really taken away from the Guyanese people, and we'll have to break down that budget. I think I'll be breaking it down over the coming weeks right on this program here. I think every other week I'm going to give you guys some financials going forward, so we can keep up with all the monies in Guyana is being spent. I think it's important that we start keeping up with how our monies in Guyana is being spent. I think that every household in Guyana needs to start playing a political role. I know some people like to ignore politics, but politics is a part of your life, okay? And you have a role to play. Each and every Guyanese have a role to play. All right. So I'm going to turn a little bit because I have my information on the monitor right on this side of me. So I'm going to turn a little bit, right? So I pulled on some statistics, and the statistics tells me that we have right now in Guyana 831,087 total individuals. Well, we have to consider that we have an influx of Venezuelans amongst other things. So with these numbers, I took a conservative approach. And when you take a conservative approach, it means you take a higher number. You don't go with a low number, because a low number can really mess with the calculation, right? So I took a higher number, 831,087 total individuals, adults and children included. Of that, it says about 68.4% of the population is adults. So we did that calculation. We have 568,464 adult Guyanese. Okay. So, you know, I'm always favorable to the people. So my calculation, I first went to the point of us trying to get to every Guyanese over the next 3 years. And that's something that I would have loved to see. $1 million per year for the next 3 years for every Guyanese. And then when we finish the first 3 years, we check in to see how it would have impacted their quality of life, what type of impact it would have had on inflation, okay, cost of living, amongst other things. All right. But in the breakdown, I'm going to show you where, you know, these cash grants alone cannot solve the issues that we have in Guyana. It's going to take more than the cash grants. But let's stick with the cash grants now. So when I did $1 million for each Guyanese adult, 568,464 adults. When I did $1 million, I had $2.842 billion to satisfy that payout. So that's not possible. I'll tell you why that's not possible. That's not possible because we're projected to make 2.6 billion US this year from oil, right? So that's not possible. So that's through the door for now. I then decided to do $500,000. When I did the $500,000, we're coming up with 1.421 billion US to satisfy that. So that's not good enough either, right? That can happen when we have a lopsided budget. 70% of our budget is allocated towards infrastructure. Now, let's keep in mind, guys. Let's keep in mind here. We started extracting oil late 2020, okay? 2020 is a wash. We can't count 2020. 2021, they didn't get much because we're new in the business, right? So I also put 2021 as a wash also. I started accounting for the Guyanese people in 2022. So we got 2022, 2023, 2024. All right. You know, so when you start a new business, you need to make sure that you have, you know, your retained earnings. You need to make sure that you have enough money, accounts to pay expenses, And so I just consider 2021 a wash, right? Because I know that they're going to come up and they're going to make excuses about 2021. So I just say, hey, let's wash that year. All right. I then decided to calculate 568,464 adults at $250,000. That came out to be 710 million US to satisfy that cash grant. All right. Is that possible? That one is not totally impossible, but we would need to balance our budget better. We would need to work within the budget. All right. Like the leader of the opposition would have said, in the budget, there's a lot of waste going on there. Right? So we would need to work and eliminate all that waste and everything. That way we could have excess funds where we could probably get to 710 million, 580,000 US to satisfy, that cash grant at $250,000. Nevertheless, I decide to go to $500 next. And for $500 per Guyanese, 568,464 adults, I have 284.2 million US it's going to take to do that. That's doable. That is very doable. That's why I applaud Professor Clive Thomas, his work, and I applaud the Honorable former Minister of Finance, Mr. Winston Jordan, because they are on point with this. This can work. All right. Now, let's get into the business of going retroactive here now. 2022, we pull in 1.6 billion US. All right. 1.6 billion US for oil. I was told to, try to tap into 10% of that to, satisfy what the Guyanese people would need. But I said, man, let me go up 1 more percent. I went to 11%. So I did everything at 11%. So in 2022, every Guyanese should have gotten 310 US, which equates to $62,000. All right. In 2023, we pull in $1.62 billion from oil. At 11%, every Guyanese should have gotten 313 US. In 2024, we are scheduled to make 2.6 billion US dollars. When I calculate, it gives me a total of $503 per each adult Guyanese. All right. When I aggregate for those 3 years, 22, 23, 24, when I aggregate, meaning when I add up for those 3 years, the Guyanese people should have received 1,126 US dollars, 225,200 Guyana dollars. So essentially what I would say is that the PPP owe every Guyanese adult $225,200. You can't just come with a one-time cash grant. No. When we look at this, when we're tapping into the revenue that we're getting from the oil, 11% to give to the Guyanese people with immediate effect, that's immaterial. It is immaterial, given that we have a budget that is 1.2 trillion or 1.6 whatever trillion dollars, right? We can't do this to the people. We have to do better. No, I did some further calculations also, right? I give you guys a population of 568,464. I wanted to play around with the population a little bit. So I took the population, because we got Venezuelans in there. I took the population and I put it, I dropped it to just 500,000. When I drop it to 500,000, the government would owe to the people of Guyana $256,000. Right? They would have gotten $572 for this year, 572 US, 114,400 Guyana, 356 US in 2023, 71,200 Guyana. In 2022, 352 US, 70,400 Guyana. All right. I further went to drop the adult population to 470,000. Right? Which 470,000 sound somewhat realistic, right? Because we trying to say we only have 200,000 children in Guyana. Sometimes I want to beg to differ on that. You know, that's under 18. All right, I did 470,000. When I did 470,000, this year y'all should be receiving, Guyanese people should have been receiving 609 US, which equates to 121,800 Guyana. Right? 2023, they should have received 379 US, which equates to 75,800 Guyana. 2022, they should have received 374 US, which equates to 74,800 Guyana dollars, which would have given them an overall aggregate total for these first 3 years that we're counting. We're not counting 2021. We're not counting 2020. 2020, they start extracting at the end of the year. 2021 is where you balance out and you try to get everything together. Your expenses, you got to make sure that you have money in accounts to cover things, right? You're a new oil producing nation. That's understandable. But when we start from 2022 to now, the government would owe the Guyanese people $272,400. Okay, $272,400. So that's a breakdown. That's a breakdown of the cash grant and what we have coming in when we look at revenue for our oil. And we have other revenues that come in also for oil. We have other things that are not being counted. Let's look at it from a holistic perspective. If we was reporting our goal properly, amongst other things, we would be in a much better position. If everything is done perfectly, I can assure you, we can give every Guyanese $500,000 per year. Every Guyanese adult could receive $500,000 per year. All right? But these amounts that I call here, $272,400. Ladies and gentlemen, this does not take care of inflation. This does not take care of cost of living. Right? $272,400 is I still want to consider that a freak. I still want to consider that a freak to a Guyanese adult. All right? You guys help me. What's the going price of a piece of land? Because that's the first thing I just think about when I think about cash grants and these kind of things. When you talk about cash grant with oil money. The first thing I think about is how Guyanese can get themselves a piece of land to build a little property. Because that's what most people want. That's what most people want. I got friends in Guyana that I talk to, and these guys are like, Wayne, we don't want to come and live in the States. All we want to do is to come and visit, do our little shopping, do our little stuff, and get right back to our country. Guyanese people like their weather. They don't want to come here and get their hand freezing off. Here, the UK, Canada, and these places. Estelle Griffith, I see you got 1.5 million up there. Let's keep in mind, Estelle, that, when you extracting oil, and not even that, from a holistic perspective, Just like a business, a country have expenses, right? A country have expenses and you got to cater for the expenses, right? You have to cater for the expenses. So 1.5 million, we would need a smaller population for that. Right? I give you guys 3 different numbers for population: 568, 464, which is what I got from a survey. I just played around with it and I put 500,000 and I used 470,000. It got to be somewhere in between those numbers, though, the adults, the Guyanese adults. If it come out to be less than $470,000, then it's a win-win for the Guyanese people right there. Right? It's a win-win for the Guyanese people right there. But here, I want to go somewhere else because this budget that is 70% infrastructure, this thing got problems. And I gotta dig in and break that whole thing apart, man. We gotta break down that budget, okay? Because when all that they can give you over the 3 years, and this is based on my calculation, this is not gonna be Barry Jagdio's calculation. Barry Jagdio's calculation is gonna give you guys less than this. He's gonna give you guys less than this. He doesn't want Guyanese to live in prosperity. He doesn't want, you guys to get, what you deserve. And this is not going to make you guys rich. And even if we have given you guys $3 million per year, guys, it's not going to make you rich. $3 million for 3 straight years, it's not going to make you rich. It's not. Because let me tell you guys something. Let me be honest with you guys. Let's say Barry Jagdio makes what? Let's say he makes 6 million per month, Guyana dollars. Right? That's only $72 million for the year. That can't get Barry Jagdio as rich as he is today. I'm telling y'all that. I ain't do numbers. But I could just straight up tell y'all, no way. No way, no chance. There is a big disparity between the politicians and the people. Why are the richest people in Guyana politicians or people who are aligned to the politicians? That ain't adding up, guys. That's not how it works. That means that something is going on. And that thing is called corruption. And now 1 hand, 2 hand, 3 hand in the cookie jar. Everybody hand in the cookie jar. Everybody hands is in the cookie jar. We need changes. We need change. Yes, Victor Ben. Plus the fringe benefits. Yes. Yes. Because when you make a deal with external investors, like we just see, when the young lady asks about Sue, I still waiting to hear from Sue, and I still waiting to hear about Barry Jagdio suing Sue. Because we want to hear that Barry Jagdio sue, but we ain't hearing that. We ain't hearing nothing. And Mark Benchcap would have asked for some pertinent information from Ambassador Chu. Mark Benchcap would like to know about Barry Jagdio's accounts in China. And look, I am not even going to hesitate. Barry Jagdio has accounts in China. And I don't believe that it's just Barry Jagdio that has accounts in China when we look at individuals within the Guyanese government. They are others. Right? He has massive accounts. He has businesses within the US. So, look, what bothers me a whole lot, man, what bothers me a whole lot is that I do not like the fact of people who are more so businessmen running a country. While there's a lot of similarities between running a government and running a business, there's a lot of differences. All right? When you run a government, you're dealing with an entire country, holistic, entire. When you're running a business, you have a few employees, right? Your sample is much smaller. But when we're dealing with a nation, and especially a nation of the caliber of Guyana, with 6 different ethnic groups, now we have some complexities there, right, brothers and sisters? We have some complexity there. Because here comes the race issue that has been plaguing the country. Oh yes, racism has been plaguing Guyana. And it's being stoked by Barry Jagdeo, and from an holistic perspective, the PPPC. They're the ones who talk about race. No one else has the time for that. You ask Guyanese of African descent, Guyanese of Portuguese descent, Amerindian Guyanese the question, and they'll tell you that they would love to see a coalition government, and furthermore, they would love to see a national government. But you're not going to get the same response if you ask the Guyanese of Indian descent. And while I say this, I'm not going to say all Guyanese of Indian descent is going to take that position. Oh, because there are quite a few of them that will take the position of having a national government. But when I use the word national government, I am not talking about now. No, it's impossible. I would never agree with a national government now. You know why? One specific reason. We need to eradicate corruption. That's number one. And we need to have a rebalance of wealth in Guyana. Like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, it is not by chance close to 90% of the wealth in Guyana is controlled by Guyanese of East Indian descent. It is by design. It was designed that way. Let's don't get skippy that Guyanese of African descent, Guyanese of mixed race descent, Guyanese or Amerindian Guyanese brothers and sisters, that they are incapable and they are unlearned. That is so far from the truth. That is so far from the truth. Yes, Honorable Camille Mackenzie, Guyana needs a major fix, right? And that is what we intend to do with a coalition government come 2025 that I 100% support. I know on these programs, and when you're presenting on these programs, you're asked to be unbiased. But in this situation, guys, I have to show my biasness in favor of a coalition, and I'm going to give my reasons why. It brings all 6 ethnic groups to the table. It brings 3 larger parties and a set of joiner parties to the table together. All right? Hence, it brings people of different ethnic groups together. We talk, we discuss issues, we come to solutions. Not, oh, I don't like you, I'm going to have you executed because you are speaking out against our policies. Is that democracy? I beg to ask the question, is that democracy? It is absolutely not. It's dictatorship, autocracy, ethnocracy. and everything that falls within that line, within that realm. We have to be able to draw to table and have the pertinent discussions. And to that, you know, sometimes I just get a few lashes to giving credit. But I just have to give credit where I see credit is due. When I come and I talk policies and I talk issues with a Dr. Hines, a Comrade Norton, a Comrade Hughes, a Dr. Vince Adams, they sit right there and they listen to me. They sit right there and they listen to me. Those are leaders. You must have an open mind. You must have an open mind. People are going to feed you all types of information. You must have that ability to analyze and break down that information, calibrate that information, break it down, sift out what is good, sift out what is not so good, and make pertinent and effective decisions to the people of Guyana. This country has to move forward. No matter what. No matter what, we have to move, and we have to move Guyana forward for all Guyanese. There is going to, look, we have 6 ethnic groups in Guyana, and you people need to sit, all of us here on this program, the people in Guyana need to sit and tell themselves that we are not going to sit here and allow ethnic supremacy in our nation. We are not. When it comes down to leadership in Guyana, it's not who the English people want. It is not who the Canadians want. It is not who the Americans want. It is who the people of Guyana wants. No external force can come and say, oh, we put in this government in here to lead the country. Because that is what would have occurred in 2020. That's why we're in the predicament that we're in today. Because you cannot take unlearned gangsters and put them to lead a country. You just can't do that. There's no direction. There is no vision. I have not seen the PPP put forth a vision for the people of Guyana. That makes me angry. Because I am here for the people of Guyana. So when you're talking about the people of Guyana, you're talking my talk. You're talking my talk. No vision. Nothing. What you guys do? You guys use the last parliament to talk about cash grant? Don't tell the people of Guyana about cash grant if they're not going to get it for Christmas. That angers me. Don't tell them anything about cash grant if they're not getting it for Christmas. Are you kidding me? You know how the people of Guyana are. They love their Christmas. They love to put up their new curtains. They love to do their thing. That's them. We've been extracting oil since 2020. We know that the people are dealing with cost of living. We know that they're dealing with inflation. But yet, we're now talking about a cash grant on only $100,000. And here this guy needs one time. Well, PPP, when y'all taking the people their monies one time, y'all the stick. Jonathan Smith Daniels, thank you for this comment. Some people sit and take the crap this government is doing and expect the US and others to fight. The fight has to come from us. She could not have said that more eloquently. She could not have said that more eloquently. It's we the people. It's our country. It's not Barra Jack the host country. That's the first issue I had when I started coming on programs. Who is this one man? Who is he? The guy's not even smart. Dr. Hines break him down good. I want you guys go back and take a look at Dr. Hines' program last night. Dr. Hines handed it to him. He had enough. And I totally agree 100%. And I'm not going to take back my statement. And I'm going to say this to the ERC. Do not write Dr. Hines. Don't even think about it. Do not write him. You guys write Barry Jack Dio first. Don't stop writing our people. Stop writing them. Don't write them. The PPP must go down in the dirty gutter. And because we are intellectuals and we are smart, we don't go down in the dirty gutter with them. Think again. We're going right there. Because Guyana belongs to us. We're going right there. Chanel, thank you for your comment. Well said. We're not, look, we just cannot sit down. And you adults in Guyana, think about the future. Think about your children. Think about your bloodline. What? Do you want them to become slaves in their own country? Where they're building those little pink and purple kennels that we see that they put out there and called about housing for people? We want solid, robust housing for the people of Guyana. And Aubrey Norton and his coalition has a plan. A proper plan, a real plan, an authentic plan for the people of Guyana when it comes to housing. And it is going to be affordable. Because like I would have just read to you, based on what we're looking at here now, with what we're getting from oil, we can't really give you more than $100,000 per year. And the most we might be able to go is $250,000 per year. So we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention. And I call on the brothers of Indian descent who, and brothers and sisters of Indian who always vote PPP. Look at the people at Sarajana. Look what happened to them. If you guys didn't learn for these first 4 years, I'm sad to say. But I beg to ask the question, when are you going to learn? When are you going to learn? This coalition, it's not formed as yet. It is not formed as yet. But it is going to come together. That's the word on the ground. So you guys don't worry about whether there's going to be a coalition or not. There is going to be a coalition. There is going to be a coalition. It's going to form. It's going to be very, very strong. I could tell you that. It's going to be extremely strong. While I say that, let me just sneak this in quick. Ralph Ramkaran and Timothy Jonas, the ANOC team, are you guys going to continue supporting the PPP? Because I want to see where you guys' conscience is when it comes to the people of Guyana. I want you to know that your decision that you made to rally behind the PPPC and chastise the coalition has really backfired for the people of Guyana. Not for you guys. You guys are rich and have your money. Hence the reason that you don't care. Look, I'm going to call you guys out. I'm not here to play around with you guys. I'm going to call you guys out. That's the name of this game. You got to be called out. You guys have not come out and chastised this PPP government. You know, you have not come out and let the public know, hey, what these guys are doing is wrong. You have not. You twist, you turn, you look right, you look left. All you're seeing is massive structures going up. But when you look at the Guyanese people, the poor ones, all you see is poverty. All you see is poverty. Poverty all over. Well, I'm going to tell you this. We, the people of Guyana, we, the people, yes, we have a vision of prosperity for Guyana. And that vision is going to come 2025 when the coalition retake power in Guyana, when our country is finally liberated from a dictatorship government. When Comrade Norton, Comrade Hughes, and Comrade Hines, and those other joiner parties within the coalition take the rings of power again in Guyana, Guyanese, I got to tell you guys, there are some real positive days ahead of you. Like I said, Mr. Norton and his financial team would have dig through that budget and find a lot of holes in it, a lot of waste, a lot of corruption. I am going to be combing through the budget behind them. Okay? I am going to be combing through. We're going to do it right on this program. Oh yeah, every other Saturday I'm going to have something for you. All right? We're going to break this budget down in sections. All right? Because if we do it right, guys, there's probably enough money to get you guys $1 million per year for 3 straight years. We're going to see. If it's possible, one thing I can tell you, Comrade Norton is going to do it. Whatever is possible, he's going to do. Him and Comrade Hughes. Because you know what? One thing, like I said earlier, I could tell you, and Dr. Hines, I could tell you about them. They listen. Oh yes, you have their ears when you speak to them. They listen. All right? But before all of this is done, we're working hard. All of us is working hard. All of us is working hard. All of you here, you guys don't feel as if you're ineffective. Oh, you're very effective. You're very effective. I can tell you that because after every program, I go through all your comments. All your comments. By the way, I do have a comment for John C. Paul because he updated me on something that I further looked into. He told me last week that when all the Amerindian tribes weren't here before the Africans, and he is correct. So John C. Paul, kudos to you. They were here before, but not all of them. So to the people that are trying to take over Guyana, understand that Guyana cannot become an Indo-state. It cannot. You will have to go through the Guyanese indigenous people, and you will have to go through the Guyanese of African descent, and that's not going to work. That's not going to work. You guys are not going to bring back colonialism. Hey, look, this is the 21st century, and we ain't standing for that nonsense, and we don't want to hear that nonsense. All right? We're just not standing for it. Now, for the PPP, there are some ministers in there that understands what is going on. Right? I tell you guys this. Your time is running out to come forward. Your time is running out to come forward. I could have never be a part of a unit like the PPP. Never, ever. Not even close. My integrity is very, very important to me. My love for fellow human beings is very, very important to me. My faith is very important to me. I will not throw those away to be corrupt. Hicken, you listening? Brutus, you listening? The Guyana Police Force is supposed to be an independent organization. Independent. You guys have failed the Guyanese people in many ways. And the biggest of them all is when that young woman questioned Barry Jagdeo about Sue. You, the DPP, all of y'all sat there. Y'all know that this man is complicit. And y'all failed to investigate. Y'all failed to press any charges. Why? Because he's Barry Jagdeo. But then you guys going around and charging Guyanese and showing up at my brother Kedaki house to arrest him and all these type of stuff. It shows all you guys do is persecute people that speak against you. That's all you do. The things that you know, Dr. Hines, Mark Benchcop, Shara Duncan, all these Rickford Burke, all these hosts come and talk about. You guys should be like this. If you guys was real democratic, you'd be like this. Hey guys, we are setting up a Zoom call. We can make it public if you guys want, and let's go through all the issues that we're having here. No, but you guys would love to have them back in Guyana to have your new way that you all do away with people. Having your IMAX digging the deep holes so that nobody could locate bodies anymore. We are on to everything. We are on to everything. The reason y'all could do that is because in the time of the coalition, there was no revenge ever taken. There was never no revenge taken for all the extrajudicial killings. We're still out here asking for justice for all our brothers. We are still out here asking for justice for all our brothers and sisters. Not forgetting Monica Reese and Donna McKenna, amongst others. Right? We're still here. Thank God our sister Melly Mel is in the States, because y'all probably would have pulled a Donna McKenna on her by now. Right? And Jagdeo, you wanted to kill Mark Benchcop in prison. Right? He was a thorn in the side. The same thing. Our brother Courtney Crum Ewing was a thorn in the side at the Attorney General's office. One-man protest. Y'all took the opportunity to have him executed. Y'all covering it up, but we're going to get to the bottom of it. His parents are still alive. And let me tell you, as long as I have a platform to speak, I'm going to always talk about him. As long as I have a platform to speak, I'm going to always talk about Courtney Crum Ewing and the fact that we need justice. I'm going to always talk about Quindom Bacchus and the fact that we need justice. I'm going to always do it because it ain't right. You shouldn't be executed for speaking. Speaking is a freedom. It's allowed to most humans. What you guys think you're doing? Putting that ERC in place to try to muzzle people. Who? Muzzle who? They can't write me. None of you could write me. This is Rick Fordborg. This is Mark Benchcop. I'm not going down those roads with you guys. Go educate yourselves. Communicate with people. People have an issue, talk to them. You don't choose to get rid of them. Speak. Correct, Jason. Correct, Jason. The Henry brothers. Yes. We've gotten no justice there. Irfan Ali went to the funeral and said he's not going to leave any stone unturned. Well, brother, you've left so many stones unturned. You have left so many stones unturned. You remember your words? You got the best interest of women and children. Show me that. Show me where you have the best interest of women and children. You remember I gave you an assignment here, Fanali, to go to the market with a few normal head of household. I like call women the head of household. You know, people like to call the man, but it's not a man that's got to the market and do the shopping 90+% of the time. It's the women. It's they got to take that little bit of money and make it work. Is they got to take that pittance and make it work. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to all the vendors at the Starbrook Market and Border Market, all the vendors outside of the Georgetown Hospital, vendors Golden Grove Market, Monterey Post Market, all the vendors. I like to give you guys shout outs because I want you guys to try to take it a little easier on my brothers and sisters. Wherever you see that you can make something a bit cheaper, make it cheaper. They don't have that money. Even when that $100,000 cash grant come out, you know, don't push your prices up, man. Don't push your prices up if you don't really have to. Because we are all in this struggle. We are all in this struggle. I know a lot of people in Guyana, you know, some lose hope. But a lot of you watch me. And I'd never lied to you. Okay? Have confidence. Have confidence. Because the only way you could conquer this monster that's called the PPP, you must have confidence. Have confidence in your leaders, Comrade Norton, Comrade Hughes, and Comrade Hines. Have confidence in their support team. All right? Have confidence in their support team. You know, some of you MPs, I'm not going to deal with I'm not talking about the MPs. They don't have spines. They don't speak up for themselves. If they used to speak up, Guyana would be a different place. They're spineless. They're yes men and yes women. All right? They're not ready yet. I'm talking about the MPs on the opposition side. All of you who are not working, who decide, hey, we ain't doing nothing, we're not supporting Comrade Norton, we're not doing this. And I'm not talking about the AFC, because most of their MPs continue to work. And if there's any MP on the AFC side that is not working, you need to get going. Because here. When you take an oath to serve, okay? When you take an oath to serve, it's not a part-time job. It's not a job that you serve only when you're in power. You got to serve when you're out of power also, because when you're out of power, your service is working your way back into power, right? I want the name of those MPs that are not working with Comrade Norton. You guys ain't going back to represent my people, the people of Guyana. You're not going back to represent them. You don't defend your position. Don't defend your position. Just exit. Just exit. Right? Because you have an issue with Comrade Norton and it's not being solved, you got a lot of people you could reach out to. You could reach out to any one of us on social media and have a personal conversation about it, and we could try to make this work. But you can't stop working for the people. You got to be kidding me. You can't be collecting your $250,000 thereabout every month and you ain't doing nothing for the people. You have to be kidding me. I don't care any of you guys who we were friends and all. When it comes down to the people of Guyana, it's business. I don't mix business with pleasure. You may have had other leaders in the past, but the leader is Comrade Norton. And if you're not going to work with Comrade Norton and you refuse to work with him, exit stage left. Let somebody else take the position. Exit. Chanel, you're lighting up the comments tonight. I just want you to know that you're on my personal short list to get on that list to go to Parliament. I'm just telling you that because me, I like working people. Because I just work. I just work hard. I just be up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning studying Jack Dio. Because he ain't getting away with this. I'm talking to Jack Dio, you don't sleep, neither do I. Neither do I. You think Mark Benchcap and Rick Fort Bork is your problem? All right. Keep thinking. Keep thinking. Keep thinking. Like I said again, we need a rebalancing of the wealth in Guyana. Okay? This whole thing with Brutus, this opened a door where we should have everyone, the upper echelon of the Guyana police force, everybody should be investigated. Everybody. We know about all of you who got your big houses. We know. But it come on the blood of the people of Guyana. It came on the blood of the people of Guyana. Right? It came on their blood. And to me, and my viewers on this program here, that is unacceptable. Because you've agreed to a salary. All right? If you know that that salary would not have been enough for you, don't agree to it. Go do something else. Don't agree to the salary and then become corrupt. The Guyana police force is working for the PPP more than they're working for the public of Guyana. The Guyana police force is working more for the PPP than they're working for the general public of Guyana. That needs to stop. Not the PPP does pay your salary. It's the hard-working taxpayers of Guyana that does pay your salaries. Barry Jagdeo on the PPP, enough is enough. You know, your time is up. We've given you 4 years to run Guyana. Irfan Ali, you had an opportunity, okay, to change from the normal Barra Jagdeo scheme. You had an opportunity. You have failed the people of Guyana miserably. They cannot continue to live in poverty. We want prosperity. We want a proper vision for the people of Guyana. And the Aubrey Norton, Comrade Aubrey Norton-led coalition, they have a proper vision for the people of Guyana. And that's where the votes are going to go in 2025. Not barely, overwhelmingly. Oh, yes, overwhelmingly. Claudette Singh, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Okay? Voting with the PPP on every issue there is. Within GCOM, you're voting with the PPP commissioners. It just shows that you're biased in nature. You should not have been sitting there in the first place. Okay? You have not come out and spoken to the Guyanese people in years now, which is despicable. It's unbelievable. But yet you continue to collect your salaries. And these are the things that we need to stop in Guyana going forward and put legislation in place to stop, because this is despicable. Okay, this is despicable. And listen, as a former judge, okay, please do not count yourself out of being investigated in the future. Do not remove yourself from the list. Okay, you guys need to be investigated, all of you. From the upper echelon of the Guyana police force right up through the government. Barry Jagdeo, you are not exempt. Okay? You are not exempt. Actually, you're at the top of the list. If you ask me about my personal list, you're at the top. Irfan Ali, you're there. Anil Nandalal, you are there. Okay? All the stuff that you guys own. Don't worry about reshuffling and doing all the stuff that you're doing. And here, the external forces cannot come into Guyana and disregard our laws. I applaud the US ambassador for coming out and saying, that she acknowledges corruption at the upper echelon of the Guyana police force and from a holistic perspective in the Guyana police force. But let me just be fair here to say that, while that is great, it is not good enough for me. I am waiting for the statement at the government level because that's where the biggest corruption is happening. Don't worry, Brutus. Brutus, I see the money that Brutus has laundered around. Yes, it's material in nature, but nothing close to what Barry Jagdeo and these guys move around. And that is what we need to be forthcoming to the people of Guyana. And what has to be returned to them should be returned to them. Okay? They should not just be allowed to just walk free. That's not fair. That is not fair. The Guyana police forces jail Guyanese every day for some minor infractions, and you got these people who go to parliament and make the laws, committing the largest infractions of them all, and we just turning a blind eye to it. That could never be fair. Okay, let's get on the mark, get set, go with that. Everybody needs to be investigated from top to bottom. We can go retroactive. We can go. It doesn't matter. If we investigate them, we'll still have to go retroactive because we're going to need all the records to build the case. We're going to need all the records to build the case. Everyone needs to be investigated, though. Okay? And Ambassador Chu, Mark Benchcap, and us here at 107.1 FM, we're still waiting for an answer with regards to Barry Jagdeo accounts in China. So whenever you get a chance out of your busy schedule, you can pen us a letter letting us know what the results are there. All right, I'm watching. We're closing in on program time, but before I go off this evening, I wanted to yes, I wanted to just announce we have a few individuals that are missing in Guyana. Right? We have a few individuals. This young lady, Laquina Demonic, she's been missing for some time now and needs to be located and returned back to her parents. She was last seen wearing her school uniform, dark blue shirt. No, dark blue skirt, I guess this was meaning, and light blue shirt. Please contact the nearest police station or her mom at 715-7430 or her dad at 694-1632. This is a message coming out from Camps TV. A pleasant good evening to you, Mr. Kedaki Amsterdam. Thank you for this. We've put it out there. And then there's a gentleman that is missing in Linden also, right? He suffers a bit from memory loss. I don't think I have his information here, but if anybody has it, they can just put it in the chat so that we can make that announcement for the gentleman in Linden who is currently missing. He's somewhat ill and he suffers from memory loss. We're losing too much of our people, every day in Guyana. Violence, stabbings, shootings, robberies, Sometimes government don't want to take the blame for these things, but I'll tell you guys this. I place all of this at the foot of the PPP government because if you guys look, and if you guys see, and if you guys look at history, and if you guys look at statistics, every time the PPP is in power, Guyana is covered by a dark veil. Every time these guys are in power, we got extrajudicial killings, executions. You can't go to a party, the people them driving by and shoot up the party. You can't go to no party, the people them driving by and shooting up the party. Right? Oh yes, I think I have some information here on the gentleman. His name is Victor Pierce. He is age 61. Okay, height about 6'1". All right. If you've seen him or know of his whereabouts, please contact family member Claus Pierce at 647-5509 or Shanika Pierce at 711-7763 or the Guyana Police Force at 442-0759. Okay, you locate him, he's alive and well, please contact the family force. And to the families, once these individuals are returned home, please be sure to let Mr. Kidaki know. This piece is from Mark Benchcoff's page, and Gordon Mosley Victor Pierce is from Mark Benchcoff and Gordon Mosley pages. To you, Mr. Gordon Mosley, a pleasant good evening to you too, sir. Thank you for all that you do. All right. We are going to be preparing now to wrap up for today. I want to thank all of you guys for joining. And look, we have a lot coming in the future weeks. I'm going to have members of the PNCR, members of the ASC, members of the WPA coming on, to discuss plans especially pertinent to the people of Guyana. So you guys have a lot to look forward to. And also for Christmas, I would like to have a little giveaway to 4 special individuals. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I probably got to put the individuals must be on the ground in Guyana. I'll have to put the names in a hat and stuff and do whatever. Jason Benjamin, I think you're going to help me with that. How are we going to get that figured out? All right. So I want to thank all you guys so much. Continue, to keep your heads up. All right. The sun is going to be shining very, very bright soon on the nation, our country, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Until next week, I want to say all my love to all of you. Be careful. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You drive in, please drive safely. No drinking and driving. If you drink, let somebody else take the wheel for you or call a taxi, okay? No driving. I want all of you guys here next week. And yes, Chanel Smith Daniels, we must fight. The fight continues. We have the PPP on the back foot. Let's keep them right there. Until next week, I do love all of you. Have a good night and take care.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sujurong?
Sue? Oh, Sue?
Before and after hard work.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data.